Welcome back to the show, everybody. This week, I have the great fortune of connecting a little bit deeper with a fellow of mine through the Mitch Daniels Leadership Foundation program. This is Joe Glover, works for Indiana University Southeast. Joe is the Vice Chancellor of Advancement, Alumni, and External Affairs. And we're going to have to understand what that is because that's a lot of words. And I don't know that I know that many. I didn't go to Indiana University Southeast. I went to one of those other schools. And so we're going to have to talk about this, Joe. But welcome to the show, my man.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Anytime I get a chance to talk to somebody who cares as much about Indiana as I do, I consider that to be a great day. So really glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and I'm glad to be here. And our screen is shared right off the bat. And this is an article that Case published, and that's the Council for Advancement and Support of Education. And they put together a little article here that's basically meeting the mission, connecting needs to opportunities at public regional universities. And so I want to talk a little bit about, what you've provided to this article, and the full transcript of the article will be in the show notes so that folks can read about the other institutions that are doing similar things. But what's jarring to me, and people can read through exactly what this is saying as we're having a conversation about it. You are touting a regional campus of a flagship university where more than 50% of our students graduate with zero debt. And I've got to learn more about that because that's something that's passionate to me. I think anybody who's watching this, who's got any connection to a student in some way or the other, probably hears that and says, oh my gosh, how are they doing it? So tell me more, Joe.
Yeah, happy to. I really think it's one of the things that make the regional campuses such an asset to the state of Indiana. And when I talk about regional campuses, first, I kind of have to give you the lay of the land of kind of how Indiana University works as a whole. So, as you said, there are two core campuses with the Indiana University. We have our IU Bloomington campus and our IU Indianapolis campus. As you know, just recently kind of separated with Purdue University. Now, Purdue University will have its own presence in Indianapolis as well. And then for the regional campuses, we are located in Richmond, Indiana at IU East, in Kokomo, Indiana at IU Kokomo, IU Northwest, which is I think you're familiar with, IU South Bend, and then IU Southeast. So we have 5 regional campuses, and then we have 2 regional centers, IU Columbus and IU Fort Wayne, and those 2 regional centers are also around the state. So that's kind of the lay of the land. And when we talk about kind of what we're doing for the state of Indiana, I think the regional campuses are really a gem. And one of the reasons is exactly what you mentioned, that over 50% of our students graduate debt free, and I think that is so important as you hear about the value proposition with higher education. We know what we do. We know how our educators, our professors, and what they do with our students to help lift them up. We're also known for our social economic mobility index, which is really helping those first generation college students and others be able to move up that social mobility index to be able to have a better future basically than that of their parents and generations before them. And so we do that a lot of the way through really providing those skills that are necessary in the workforce without the debt that comes along with some of the other institutions. So we're very proud of that. We do that around the state. And yeah, 51% graduating debt free. Like I said, we could talk more about it, but we're very proud of that. And that's something that's very important to us. And we know it's very important to the families of Indiana.
Yeah, and it's very important to me and anybody that may be watching this show. The fact that it exists right now, that you can go and attend a flagship university in the state of Indiana and get yourself out of school potentially debt-free is remarkable. And so visually, we'll just show this, with Indianapolis in the middle of the state, IU Southeast. Is really closer to Kentucky than anything that most people would recognize as a city in Indiana. And so I wanted to draw some attention just geographically where that is, and then we can zoom in a little further in terms of a campus lifestyle. It seems to me like this is more or less a commuting situation for folks who are probably remaining in their housing situation that they had either as a high schooler or in a non-traditional capacity, whatever their prior housing situation was. Is that fair?
Well, that's fair, but you may be shocked to know that we have 400 students who live on campus and on-campus housing as well. And so
wow.
I think a lot of people are kind of shocked to find that out. We have beautiful lodges on our campus around our lake. And so we have about 400 students that call this campus home throughout the year. And, when you look at the campus and you look at the footprint, as you see here, I mean, we're not talking about a strip mall campus. I think sometimes when people think about regional public universities, RPUs, as we call them, these types of institutions around the country, they have a certain mindset mindset that comes to mind. Well, when you really look at this campus, this is a full-fledged campus. This is a fully functional, fully operational campus with multiple buildings, and over 200 acres of space that we have here in New Albany. So it is a beautiful campus. Anyone that gets a chance to visit here, I think that we often joke about it a little bit about how really fortunate we are to have such a beautiful campus. It's very much similar. To the Southern Indiana campuses that you might see, Bloomington even, lots of greenery, lots of green areas, and just a beautiful walking campus. And one of the things that we're very excited about as you look at this map is you can kind of see along the back of the campus, you see a railroad there that goes all the way along the back of the campus that separates the industrial park, one of the industrial areas here in New Albany. That is a part of the governor's Next Level Trails project. And so that is going to be the longest trail in the state of Indiana. That's going to go from downtown New Albany, Indiana, all the way up it's going to get close to Bloomington. It won't get all the way up there. I think it stops in Mitchell, Indiana, but it's going to be over 60 miles of rail to trail that's going to be going in. And so we're very excited about the opportunities that's also going to open up for more of a recreational experience, but also to be the only college campus in the state of Indiana located along a major rail. We're really looking forward to that, what that opportunities are going to provide for our students.
Yeah, as we have this conversation and we look at some of the visuals, I think that there's an opportunity here for folks to appreciate, what these regional campuses can be, and what maybe you had described it well. You may be familiar with colleges or universities who happen to lease space in some sort of other commercial real estate setting, and this is not that. And so that's a good distinction to draw. And if I would, I'll bounce over to the next tab.
Well, one more thing I'm going to tell you before you do that, before you bounce to the next tab, is just one of the things you're probably going to notice just by looking at this is the tennis courts. I think a lot of people realize, they think, they probably don't have athletics at regional campuses. Yeah, we definitely do. And if you scroll down, you'll even see the baseball and softball fields on the far south side of campus. Yep. NAI institutions, so all of our regional campuses are members of the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics. And here on the southeast campus, we have men's and women's basketball, volleyball, baseball, softball, and men's and women's tennis. So it really kind of gives you a full picture of the type of comprehensive institution that we really are. I think the next tab will talk to you a little bit more about what our academics look like.
Yeah, and that's a great point to bring in there, and it really helps to delineate again the differences at different universities as compared to what you have going on here. But if we jump into the academics tab of the southeast.iu.edu, and I filtered this specifically for bachelor's degree programs, and I was shocked to see that there are 91 different options that are available through the regional campus. And so tell me a little bit more about that. And I see on here some of these represent 100% online in parentheticals. Is that the only option for those, or are there on-campus options for those as well?
Yeah, so we really try to pride ourselves in trying to make sure that we give a variety for students. So a lot of the degree programs that we have, it's not always the case, but we try to make it always where we have a face-to-face option just right here on campus, where we might have a hybrid option that's a little bit online, a little bit, within the classroom, or a completely online program. So that's really the great flexibility. And that's also the flexibility of Indiana University. The cool thing about the 100% online courses are we may own that degree program here on the Southeast campus, but you might have a faculty member out of IU Northwest or IU South Bend who may be teaching a course in that section. So what it really does, I think it really takes the power of Indiana University across the state, lets each of our campuses have our flagship programs that we all have, and all the great research that our professors do in the community and also in our regions. But it really makes that accessible for all of our students around the state. And so you would be shocked at the number of students that we even have, even on the Southeast campus, that will graduate with an IU degree from the Southeast campus, but they may be living in a place that may be 50 miles to 150 miles away. They may be in a different state if it's a 100% online program. But we really do pride ourselves in having a breadth of degree programs. But it's more than just a breadth. We have quite a bit there, right? But we specialize in a lot of different programs, and we really try to make sure that our degree programs are those that are in demand here in the state of Indiana, to make sure that we're helping serve the state state. We know that nursing is a huge topic around the state of Indiana, making sure that we have qualified nurses. Nursing program is one of the largest. Education is one of our major programs here. We know that we need educators here that are trained in things like next level reading and all the things that are going on to help the reading rates here in the state of Indiana. So our School of Education is doing wonderful work there. Our School of Business is really just one that just I can't even say enough great things about it. It was just recently ranked again as one of the top business programs in the country, not just in the region or in the state. I mean, it's really a when I think about it, I think about all the graduates. I start thinking about the alums and what some of those individuals are doing. And I can tell you many, many success stories about business owners, entrepreneurs, and those who graduated from our School of Business that are now doing amazing things and really helping the economic viability of Indiana. So a lot to be proud of. And I think that the degree programs and the quality of our faculty really is what we talk about. And it's really hard to understand until you're on campus. So I encourage anyone that's interested or has a child or somebody that's interested in learning more about the regional campuses to get on a campus, have a tour, just go see it for yourself. I think you're going to walk away really impressed with the opportunities that you can do. And, some people think, hey, I can't study abroad if I go to a regional campus. I can't have that traditional Greek life experience if I go to a regional campus. And that simply is not true. Our campuses have a robust Greek life program. We have many students who study abroad in many different international countries. So, and really probably one of the things I'm most proud of is that our students get to work directly with faculty on research. And probably the thing that most impressed me as an alum, I graduated from a regional campus of IU, is I got to know my professors right away. You get to know them one-on-one. You're not sitting in a room of 200 people in a lecture hall. You're getting to work directly with them in low class sizes. And beyond that, the professors are like, hey, it's not a TA that's teaching you. It's not somebody else that is kind of there doing the work. You have a full tenured professor who has a research interest that maybe aligns with what your interests are. And that professor is going to invite you to be able to help in that research opportunities and to be able to do that directly with a faculty member as maybe a freshman or a sophomore. I mean, those are experiences that you really can't get anywhere. And one of the things I probably, to sum this up for those that might know, I kind of call it at the regional campuses, it's almost like a private school experience at a state school cost, right? You get this unique, all this attention and one-to-one access and all these things that maybe you get at a smaller private school. But the great thing is you can do it at a cost that's very affordable. And, we've talked about affordability a little bit, but I kind of want to throw it out there. The cost to attend right now for IU Southeast is $8,500 a semester. So when you think about that and you put that out there for a 4-year cost of education, very much attainable. And that's one of the reasons why we have so many of our students that are graduating debt free. And, we have over 110 scholarships that we give out thanks to our generous donors in the area. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I'm probably most proud of is 70% of our students receive a scholarship of some sort. So even at the $8,500 a semester price, which is really affordable if you look around, they're also getting aid to help lower that cost even more, which I know that our donors and those in the community that help make that a reality, it really helps these students.
Yeah, when you pile all of those things together and you start to think about the next generation of college students who will be actively evaluating the value proposition of college, I believe that the regional campuses have the opportunity to attract an even higher quantity of individuals who are looking for exactly what you're offering: smaller class sizes, smaller tuition bills, smaller feel. And then ultimately, I want to switch back to the article itself that discusses basically the link between having a regional campus and providing job-ready graduates to that area who statistically stay there. Can you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, it's another thing I'm really, really proud of. So it's not just about, yes, we're proud of our education. We're proud of all of our graduates, no matter where they may end up. But what is great about the regional campuses is 84% of our graduates stay in this region and to raise their families and work right here within this region for the Southeast campus. That statistic is not unique to the Southeast campus. Those are regional campuses all across the state of Indiana. And so when you think about IU Southeast, that's 32,000 living alumni alumni that we have. 80% of those students, 84% of those graduates are staying right here to raise their families, and that is just amazing. And that shows you a little bit about when I say we're educating Hoosiers, and in here at our case, 30%, 25 to 30% of our students are Kentucky residents. So we have a few of them that we're also educating folks from Kentucky, and we're proud of that because it's a metro area here, right? So it's all about the region, and how we kind of complement the learning and the economy on both sides of the river. But that's really what I mean when I talk about that. We are really impacting the state of Indiana and our communities all across the state, and so that's something I'm really proud of. We always joke, and it's really true. People think I'm joking, but when I go around town, I can't go almost anywhere without running into an IU Southeast graduate, whether that be at a doctor's office, whether that be at a hospital with a nurse, whether that be at my child's elementary school where one of our graduates is teaching them, and when I have a kindergartner this year, so I have someone that's from the school there that has taught, and so it's really great to be able to look around. Even when you look at the leaders, we've got multiple state senators who've been graduates. Most recently, Chris Garton just graduated. He anyone that doesn't know his story, it's really phenomenal. He's doing great things in the state Senate. But one of the things that he did was he was a student at IU Southeast, and then when 9/11 happened, he felt the call to go to the military and serve his country. He came back and he had so many credits that he was able to earn from just that life experience of owning his own business and working in the military, that he was able to graduate in a really short amount of time. And last Christmas, we presented him with his degree, and I'll never forget that, him thanking us for being able to make that opportunity happen. And we just had to say, hey man, you did all the work. This is for you. This is congratulations, and thank you for serving our country and for coming back and getting your education. So there are many stories like that out there of state senators, state representatives, just people doing amazing things, business owners, people that are just giving back to the state of Indiana and our economy, and they're IU Southeast graduates. And I'm never shocked about where our graduates end up. To give you an example, we have one of our graduates right now that's got a really great career working in the White House in Washington, D.C., and I can go on and on. We've got many business owners that are doing amazing things. Samtec, which has been a really great partner. We have a lot of our graduates that are actually really close to our campus, but that's a global company that's right here in the backyard here in New Albany that has offices all over the world, and many of our graduates are there helping run that organization and that company. So a lot of great success stories. And again, I'm talking about IU Southeast and my passion here at New Albany, but this is not the thing I want your listeners to understand. This is not something that's just New Albany. I mean, these are at all our regional campuses across the state. I mean, we are very lucky in the state of Indiana to have this system, and I hope that people maybe that are seeing this for the first time and never thought about the regional campuses will think about that. I wish I should have grabbed my degree back here, but when you actually look at the degree, it is an Indiana University degree. All of our graduates are IU graduates. It's not that you have an IU Southeast degree, an IU Northwest degree. You're an Indiana University graduate. We're one campus or one university, multiple campuses. So again, very proud of that, and happy that we're able to have such an impact on the state of Indiana.
Yeah, Joe, I am thankful that you brought that up, and that is absolutely a true statement. I've seen many of them among friends, colleagues, coworkers, etc., that the regional campuses produce degree programs that still state the flagship university of the state of Indiana. And to that point, I just hope that if you are watching this and you are either a prospective student, you are the parent of a prospective student, the grandparent of a prospective student who is looking to have the opportunity to change their family tree in a sense of socioeconomic mobility, or frankly just wants to be able to maximize the value for the dollars they're paying in their tuition, you ought not sleep on the regional campuses. And so I wanted to make a video that touches upon that, and had the opportunity to bring Joe on to tell his story. And Joe, if you're willing, maybe you've got a link on the IU website somewhere where people might be able to get in touch with you directly. But if not, there's definitely the IU Southeast portion of the IU website, and I'll definitely link to it in the notes below.
Well, I'll definitely make sure I get you my contact information for the show notes. Definitely happy to share that and happy to help anyone that has a question about IU Southeast or any of the regional campuses of Indiana University. We are, it's something that I'm really passionate about. I'm a first generation college graduate myself. I know
Mhm.
how that was to go to college and not really know what to expect, and being able to find myself on a regional campus where I had all the support that I needed, where I was that kid who's walking on campus like, what the heck's a registrar and where do I go and what do I need to do there, and have somebody that walks up that says, "Oh, you look like you're looking for something. Can I help you find where you're going?" And then not only do they, don't point and say, "Yeah, take two rights and a left and you're where you're at." They actually took me to the office and actually helped me understand kind of what all that was about, and led me, and was really there to be that kind of personal service to make sure that I was able to succeed and able to get through things. And then to the faculty members, I have relationships with the faculty that I had several years ago, more years ago than I'm willing to admit now. But I still have relationships with many of those faculty members, and I get to catch up with them and stay in touch with them. And I think that's really special. And those are the types of things that I think that you get at a regional institution that really matter and make a difference. And especially for those who, I think one of the things that we pride ourselves on as well is we understand, we know that life has a lot of things, going on. We have some non-traditional students. We have some students who have kids of their own already. We have some students who maybe are taking care of aging parents. There's a lot of things that go on, and COVID made us understand that even more, obviously. And so the flexibility and really being there to understand that we're here to help our students learn and educate themselves and make their lives better. I think making sure that we have that common sense approach to working with our students to work through some of those issues that just happen in life, I think that really makes a difference. And I think any of our students that you would talk to would tell you the same thing.
That is perfect, Joe, and I appreciate you sharing your feedback, your story, your perspective on the regional campuses. And again, if you want to reach out to Joe or discover what your regional campuses can offer to you, I recommend you do it wholeheartedly. Just have an additional option in your selection set. It'll make you all the better. So, Joe, thank you for joining me on this episode of the show. I appreciate you, sir.
Hey, no problem. Thanks for having me. Thanks for all that you're doing, and let's continue to make Indiana better and better.
Amen, my man. Thank you.